me record. 3.141592. Were you one of those kids that could like do pi out to the, yeah.
28 digit, no.
When my kids were in elementary school, there was a pi contest every year. And so my kids would spend time. I mean, the kid who could do it was always like, you know, up to 100 and something.
He was on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Could go on and on.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd rather do the other pie contest. Hi, Dana.
The pie eating contest?
Pie name.
Eating pie, or?
Yeah, that's more enjoyable than remember 100 digits.
What's your favorite pie? I'm more of a pie maker than I am a cake baker, for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm not big into fruit.
I'm pecan pie all the way.
Oh, are you?
Pecan?
Yeah.
I always called it pecan pie.
I think it's just a where you're from kind of thing.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like for me, Virginia, North Carolina was all, they said pecan, but it may be my grandmother who was born in Norfolk. Yeah, I think, do you hear people saying pecan or pecan in Virginia?
I don't know that I know enough people in Virginia who are actually like native Virginians. It feels like everybody I know in Arlington, or so many people are from, everybody's from someplace else. So I think mine came from Southern Indiana, would have been pecan.
Pecan
Pie.
What about you, Chris?
And actually my grandma made poor man's pecan pie. So instead of nuts, it had oats on the top of it.
For us, it's called pecan.
It's pecan.
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 Are we talking pies?
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Because look, we've got a pie person today.
Oh, hello, pie.
Yeah.
Chris, you said you're a fruit-filled pie man?
Yeah. I'm pretty much like a pumpkin or chocolate or.
You're not fruit.
Yeah, not a apple pie. Probably about the only pie I like. I feel fruit and dessert shouldn't go together for some reason. I'm not a. I don't know. It's really weird. That's fruit ice cream. It's what's the point? I'm trying to be healthy, or am I not? I'm gonna eat ice cream, go all the way.
Oh, I'm definitely like blueberry, rhubarb, cherry, any kind of tartish fruit, apple.
Yeah, I can do apple. I'm not cherries. Not very. Yeah.
Not very appealing.
That's all right.
Apple pie. Sounds good. Right about now. Yeah. I like the fruit pies. I also like the pumpkin pie kind of holiday traditions.
Yeah.
I'm a convert to pecan pie. It is so sweet, but I do like it a lot.
It is good.
Yeah.
I've made that for
I only make it twice a year at Thanksgiving and Christmas because it is so sweet. It's deadly, you know.
Yeah.
It's just so damn good.
Corn syrup.
I know, right?
It's like, at least we're explicit
There's
about
nothing
it.
but sugar and corn syrup.
So
and an egg, right?
And an egg. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be careful to strain the egg.
At holidays, it's called a chocolate peanut butter pie with cream cheese.
Oh.
And let's say a slice, just a normal slice, 700 to 800 calories.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 6,000 calories in the pie. That's the way I make it.
That kind of stuff.
And does that have a graham cracker crust?
Yeah. It's yeah, I mean, you don't make your own crust, you just buy the shelf ones.
Right.
If I do pecan or apple, I'll either buy or make my own actual dough crust. But it's really, really good, but you can't, it's kind of some cheesecakes that are really heavy. You can't have a big slice, otherwise you're like just bloated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get like this sugar reaction where I feel like it's just coming out of my skin. Like I just feel, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Too much butter, too much sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would fall asleep immediately.
Correct. climbing Mount Everest and falling off.
Uh, yeah, I'm
Well, I
actually
guess
trying
the-
to make the decision about whether to travel to see my parents over Thanksgiving. So my mom says that Dr. Fauci's kids are not traveling to visit him. So, but I haven't seen my parents since February, and so I was looking for Airbnbs and just to go at least go visit them. But
Where do they live at?
they live in St. Louis, Missouri.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
we're
live
having
in a retirement home, in an apartment in a retirement home.
That's where my parents are too, in an
Mhm.
apartment in a retirement village. I don't think I'd be able to get in if I went to visit them.
Mm.
And my brother was there not too long ago, and they went over to my cousin's house, who
And met
my
them
cousin lives in Newport News. Yeah, and that's where they met up. But
Mhm.
if I went, I wouldn't be able to stay in their spare bedroom.
Yeah,
I'd have
I
to
wouldn't be able to
quarantine for
stay.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I
and-
wouldn't be able to stay at their place, but they do allow visitors to come in with masks. So
Oh, that's good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Is it-
So I've just been
is it
thinking
drivable?
about Thanksgiving dinner.
Is it drivable for you? Is that like a super long drive, or is it a
It's
2-day
about
drive?
14 hours, so I would
Mm.
probably split it up in 2 days.
Mhm.
So you could quarantine yourself before you leave, feel
Yeah.
comfortable, and
Yeah, stay in an Airbnb on the way with minimal contact.
yeah. We're talking about skipping Christmas back to Michigan this year and just going at a different time and try to avoid I'm sure there's still going to be some sort of holiday crush, but
Mhm.
I swear every time I fly at Christmas in a normal year, I get sick. So I'm like, why would
Oh,
I do
yeah.
it this year?
About the last thing you want to do is be on a plane for Christmas.
Yeah,
or
I would
something.
definitely
No.
not fly. I would
I
definitely.
mean, the previous years, I just start taking vitamin C and all kinds of stuff like 3 days before and 3 days when I get there just to try to like nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
And that seems to work, but so that's another idea. But I don't know vacation time how that works for you. And it's nice about Thanksgiving, you get a 4-day week. Most people get a 4-day weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take some time off, but I definitely don't feel comfortable getting in an airplane.
No.
No.
Oh, I don't either.
But a lot of people are doing it and they're saying I don't know about that time. A lot of people that have done it, it's like super restrictive. Like you got to wear a mask and but all it takes is one person that doesn't want to.
Exactly. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
we haven't really heard any of those stories of, a whole airplane full of people I've known people who've traveled as well myself.
Yeah.
But
I hear you.
Yeah, but I think it's a matter of time before we do hear those stories, and then you don't want to be
I mean, even
that
on a
airplane.
like at a good time when we aren't dealing with all of this, flying is so unpleasant. I would get flipped out by, like on the trip to England. I don't know why this stuck out to me so much, but it did. There was somebody sitting right behind me, and I kind of had my head like leaning up against the window. So I could feel when she sneezed, my hair kind of went,
yeah.
and I was like, I felt like, I'm on my way to England, and I'm like, I don't have any antibacterial spray I can spray on my head. It was so gross, And
Yeah, I'm usually one that like has my hood up and my scarf on and like it basically as covered as you can be in an
a giant
airplane.
scarf wrapped around your head.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
I don't like flying. It just, I imagine Astrid, for you, it's horrible. I mean, for a person who's taller, I mean, just flying is awful.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. I mean, I always end up in the whatever economy plus cabin, or very occasionally business class. But it's no fun. There's nothing pleasant about it. It used to be such an interesting
Yeah.
adventure, but I can't. And I mean, honestly, I think the last time I enjoyed flying was on a trip to Australia, of all things, for a conference, and I got bumped up because I think it was Qantas. They were testing a new business class configuration, and so all of us in economy plus, expecting to be in that category, got bumped into business, and it was like it was actually pretty nice, like fold down bed, and it's like, oh, this I can make work, right?
Yeah, that's
How
nice.
That's about
long
the
ago
last
was
time
that?
I don't know, like 10 years ago.
Even
When you
people
said
down in New
Qantas in
Zealand, those
Australia,
flights you're spending the night on, the seats are a little more, there's more room. I mean, because they know that you're going to speak out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Anything
hell.
domestic is awful.
Yeah. Astrid, so this was more like, this is more like 25 years ago, maybe even closer to 30, flying
Right after
to
the
Australia, and you could still smoke on the planes.
Oh my God.
So like the smoking area was all the way at the very back of the
Yeah.
plane.
Yeah.
And so I remember getting up and walking to the back of the plane, and as soon as you passed that bank of toilets and you went like to the other side, it was a huge party. Like people were sitting on other people's armrests and smoking and drinking. It was awesome. And that does not happen anymore.
No.
No. And any of those flights where you're going to Australia, generally in the past, it's been such a long time since I've made that trip, like over 6 years. Yeah, lots of drunk Australians. Do you remember that?
Yeah, not missing
Like
any
they
of
drink
that.
all the alcohol on the plane.
Yeah, it's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're getting a drink. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have wine with
And by
that.
the time that you're
Absolutely.
2 hours away from Sydney and the flight attendant tells you there's no more alcohol, they drank it all.
Same sometimes to Japan. The Japanese businessmen start knocking it back on the flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, you feel so bad with the jet lag, and a hangover is the worst.
It is the
I
worst.
wish you
It
could
is
do
the
that.
worst.
Yeah, I was just thinking the other day, talking to a friend, I think my bar of, that would make it worth for getting on a plane for business has just jutted up. Like this whole idea of going to Europe for a 2-day conference, like hell no. Right?
Yeah.
So I think I expect my travel behavior to remain changed for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
That's what
it's
I've heard
gonna-
a lot of. That's what I've heard a lot of people saying, or articles saying that the airline industry, people are gonna be like doing this Zoom, and they're like, why do I need to fly out somebody cross country? They can just get on the computer.
Yeah, and I mean, like the online conference experience is getting better by the week.
That's
it's
true.
really
Yeah.
stunning, actually. Some of the events I've attended, I'm like, okay, I'm not missing a whole lot. I mean, I get the hobnobbing. That's difficult to do, but all right.
So
That
you
is
can
the
you
fun
know the
part,
difference
isn't
since
it?
you started doing this beginning of the year, the Zoom, the conferencing.
Oh, yeah.
Astrid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yes, I think there will be a lot more Zoom and other platforms in our future.
Mm-hmm. One thing, I'm running a Zoom conference next week, and one thing we're doing is we're calling it Zoom Roulette. So when you go on a break, you actually get like put into a breakout room with somebody for, one-on-one or, 3 people. So you have that feeling of like chatting with somebody before you take a break or on the way back in. Have you seen any other tricks like that, Astrid, to get more of the hobnobbing kind of feeling?
I haven't seen it done terribly well yet. I mean, there are platforms that set up these sorts of general breakout rooms, right? Where people then opt in.
You can opt in. Yeah.
Yeah. The next thing I want to try out is I want to use that platform that I think I've told you about, High Fidelity, and set that up as with like a map, almost like a hotel room map, right? And then you can say, hey, over here in the blue salon, meet all the economists, and over here in the yellow salon, whatever, meet all the physicists, right? And then have that experience of walking into a room and chatting with people. Because Zoom is a little contrived, right? Like, so now
it is. Yeah.
Strangers, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, we actually tried the High Fidelity, but it just felt a little too like to teach everybody to use it, and we just didn't have enough time in our conference to actually.
It's still in beta, so you have to have a high tolerance for new technology at the moment.
Right. Yeah, and
it will improve as all these things do, but
yeah.
Fun times.
Fun times. Okay, well, we ready to get going?